After receiving some guidance from the state, local school districts are now putting together their own individual back-to-school plans. Many school districts say that internet learning will be a part of that equation somehow. But we wanted to know, how did online learning from home back in the spring really work for parents and students?
If your life hasn't been impacted by the coronavirus yet.
Why he decided to close schools could be a burden on some parents.
COVID-19 closed schools quickly. It forced in-home learning onto thousands of students in Northeast Ohio. Nathan Lozich was one of them.
It was semi-hectic, mainly because we stopped on such abrupt notice.
Nathan was a junior at the time in the Parma School District. He says communication was difficult.
Most of the times we were emailing our teachers and they wouldn't get back to us for maybe 2 to 3 days.
We'll get back to Parma in a moment, but first. 5 on Your Side investigators asked 75 school districts for a breakdown of participation of students in online learning from March 16th to May 29th. Beechwood schools reported 78.5% of students actively participated during the first week of May.
A ton of staff members who really stepped up outside their comfort zone.
Dr. Bob Hardis oversees the district, schools long considered affluent and resourceful. 1 in 5 students did not join in.
We didn't know what parents' schedules would permit them to do in terms of being at home and supporting their kids' learning.
Of the districts who responded to our requests, Elyria, 74% earned a passing grade during distance learning. Barberton said 80 to 85% participated. Akron reported 86 to 94%.
Basically, 2 options for families, depending on their grade level.
Akron was the first in our area to release a plan for reopening, a blended agenda of in-person school for the youngest kids and online learning for older students.
Any family who would like to have their students remain 100% remote, we're able to accommodate that.
That brings us back to Parma.
I think our teachers did a phenomenal job of really learning on the go.
Superintendent Dr. Charles Smilik saw participation rates were not great.
It was a dramatic fall off.
Elementary schools in Parma, 66% of assignments completed. Middle school kids, 51%. And high schoolers, 35%. But the silver lining, he says, the district learned from that last 9 weeks of school. Parma asked for feedback from parents like Alicia Anderson, whose son Trey was in 2nd grade.
He doesn't have a teacher one-on-one connection, doesn't have his classmates, so it's kind of difficult.
We have to continue to engage. What didn't work was when we just would post something. You know, here's the assignment for the week, here's the syllabus.
Engagement is one reason why the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends students return for in-person classes this fall.
They emphasize that there are major educational, health, and social benefits for keeping most students physically in schools.
Most students, but not all. The governor released some guidelines for back to school, but now each district needs to figure out what individually works best for them.
2 days in school, 3 days online puts a lot of stress on the students.
Relationships still matter, that personal interaction as much as you can foster it.
I hope it's a good class.
It's not going to be perfect. We're going to be learning as we go.
And we will do a better job of it this time around.
Kind of curious to see how things are going to go in the fall.
Some school districts, like Lorain and Mentor, told us they did not track online learning from the spring. I'm 5 on Your Side investigator Jonathan Walsh.